This is Ivy Sports. I'm BJ Griffin, UFC 127. I'll be giving you guys my prediction for the main event, Jon Fitch versus BJ Penn. Jon Fitch, very high-level wrestler, wrestled at Purdue University. BJ Penn, high-level jiu-jitsu guy. Jon Fitch also has a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, believe it or not. BJ Penn, which BJ Penn shows up? That's the question here. Which BJ Penn decides to show up for this fight? Is it going to be the BJ Penn that knocked out Matt Hughes early in the first round, or is it going to be the BJ Penn that lost to Frankie Edgar? Whichever, that's really the main deciding factor in this fight, is which BJ Penn decides to show up. BJ Penn, also, if he's going to win this fight from a technical perspective, he's going to win this fight, he's going to have to try to stay off his back. BJ Penn, great takedown defense, but I don't think that's going to stop Jon Fitch and his high-level wrestling. BJ Penn, also a very, very active guard, very active off his back, loves to throw elbows from the bottom position. He can submit you from the bottom. He's real good off his back. I mean, just good on the ground in general also, but real good in this scenario, particularly off his back. How well does BJ Penn move up to welterweight this time around? BJ Penn, better stand up than Jon Fitch, although Jon Fitch will have a reach advantage. Jon Fitch also, with the size advantage, could pose as a positive for him on the ground. I'm going to take Jon Fitch in this matchup by unanimous decision. Jon Fitch, unable to finish his fights, and that could pose a problem against somebody as dangerous as BJ Penn. As I said throughout this, I expect BJ Penn to be on his back for most of this matchup, because that's how Jon Fitch wins his fights. He takes you down and he ground and pounds you. He beats you with his wrestling, but without finishing, you're leaving somebody as dangerous as BJ Penn to sit around, and he can find ways to win. You're giving him that much more time to find ways to beat you. And BJ Penn, being a very high-level jiu-jitsu guy, of course more so in the past than right now, he can still find ways, you know, he can pull something out of his ass and find ways to submit you, even as he's being dominated, even from his back. So that's just something to think about. But I'm going to take Jon Fitch by unanimous decision, because Jon Fitch just wins. Nobody has beaten him in the UFC besides GSP. That says something in itself. And he was a man just to be able to finish that fight without being knocked out or whatever, because he got rocked in the first round by GSP. And yeah, I'm going Jon Fitch. What are your picks for the main event and all the other fights in the main card? Make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Also, George Sotiropolus fighting in this card. He's a very, very skilled. He's a beast, actually. Undefeated in the UFC. He's fighting Dennis Siver. If he beats Dennis Siver, maybe you'll see George Sotiropolus in title contention. Also, I really wish Carlos Conduit hadn't been able to fight in this card, because, you know, that initially that was the most exciting fight on the card to me, because this card, it actually was pretty boring to me, but that was initially the most exciting fight on this card. Carlos Conduit versus Chris Lytle. Those Greg Jackson fighters, he has those guys ready, because Carlos Conduit, when he knocked out Dan Hardy in the first round, that was real exciting for me. Knocking out Dan Hardy in his hometown, in his home area, that was exciting for me. Chris Lytle, just exciting to watch, period. Great stand-up, excellent jiu-jitsu. That would have been fun, but that's not going on anymore. What are your picks for the main event and the rest of the fights in the card? Subscribe, follow us on Twitter. This is Ivy Sports. I'm BJ Griffin.